Hey guys, back again. So let's talk about a video game today because I really want to talk more about video games as well because that's another thing I love to talk about. I feel like people won't care as much, but I do want to review some video games as well. And this one is related to TV shows, so I just replayed South Park: The Stick of Truth on PS4, and I just rebought the PS3 version because I want to get the trophies on this. South Park: The Stick of Truth is a game that genuinely surprised me. The fact that it's a game that doesn't suck, that's part of the South Park video game series, like, that's awesome, because we've got those horrible ones that were released right whenever the series was released. I have over there, I'm not going to grab it, but I have the South Park game from 1997 on the N64, which is a point-of-view game where, like, you throw dodgeballs or you throw snowballs at turkeys, killer turkeys, because of that episode that was in South Park in 1997. And it is terrible. It is like a full 3D first person, like, not shooter, but you're throwing dodgeballs or snowballs and stuff at turkeys. And it's just very weird. The game is very strange because it's just like, there's like nothing around, like, you just are in a quiet little mountain town, but there's nobody there. It's a very weird game. I didn't play Chef's Love Shack or a South Park Rally. I think I might play those eventually, even though I hear they're awful like the other one, but I might check them out. But South Park: The Stick of Truth is what we're talking about today. This is a game that I bought whenever it came out in 2014, 2013. And I loved it. I still love it replaying it on PS4 today, because I got the digital code with the fractured butthole as well. The digital code came with it. So that's how I'm playing on both PS3 and PS4. But I love this game. I think it's fantastic. I think the idea of South Park and RPGs go so well together. And I love JRPGs already, like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Persona. I love turn-based games. So the idea of one of my favorite shows ever being a turn-based game is so freaking cool. Like, it is so interesting. And you can be your own character. You come into the game as your own avatar. You're your own character. You can be a boy, girl, whatever color, race, gender, whatever. And it's very cool, just the fact that they made anybody be allowed to play the game. Actually, no, to be fair, in this one you can't play as a girl. In the Stick of Truth, you can't play as a girl in that one. You can play it in the Fractured Butthole, though. But regardless, though, it still was really a cool idea of just, like, making your own South Park avatar and going around with all the kids, like Cartman, Stan, Kyle, and Kenny. Like, that's so cool and Butters. That's so cool you can go around with them. And you meet Butters first off, which is great because Butters is like my favorite character in South Park, like a lot of people. But you start out where you are on one side of the elves versus the wizards, and you decide to pick a side throughout a game. Like, there's altering choices where, like, you can decide if you want to side with Cartman's side or side with Kyle's side, while just meeting everybody in town. And the gameplay in this is so freaking awesome because of the fact that it's a turn-based game. But it's an easy turn-based game. It's very easy. It's not very challenging at all, which is fine because I did just enjoy the story enough and the characters and the humor. But the gameplay is pretty easy in this one. I think South Park: The Fractured Butthole, like, made it a little bit more complicated in a good way, like with the gameplay. In this one, the gameplay is great, but it's just simple and it's not very hard, and that's fine. Like, I didn't mind because I love the story of the game. But you can go all around town. You can meet every single character from South Park you know and love. You can get friend requests or give friend requests and get friend requests on Facebook. So you can even rack up to that with, like, trophies where, like, you have to get a trophy to meet everybody on Facebook and become friends with everybody on Facebook. You even get to become friends with, like, people like Mr. Hanky or Mr. Slave or Jesus. That's just so funny that they've got every single South Park character, even the ones that you're like, these would be people on Facebook. That's really awesome. But I like that. I like that a lot, and I love the gameplay, and I love the fact that it's a game that's just so funny as well. they literally got everybody involved from South Park into this, so it feels and looks just like it's from the show, like literally watching an episode of the show. And I really, really appreciate that much careful attention to detail. They made a full map of South Park where like you can go around everywhere, and I just love that with seeing the show for so long and seeing all these locations, like all the friends' houses or all the places in town, and then realizing that there's a full map of just everything, like perfectly placed, is so cool. And I just love the fact, I love that fact. And I loved how this one, as opposed to the Fractured Butthole, is more of you fighting people in town, or fighting people in Canada, or fighting crab people. It's not as much as the Fractured Butthole. The Fractured Butthole had more like larger than life enemies, if that makes sense. Like this is more like regular South Park characters that you had in the show already. And in the Fractured Butthole, it's like you add in all these new, bigger adversaries, which is cool. I like that. But this one is more down-to-earth South Park, if that makes sense. Like, it's still wacky and outrageous, but the Fractured Butthole has way more enemies that are, like, newer or just outrageous that you never saw in the show. Like, this one specifically is about villains from the show. And I really loved that. And I just loved how funny it was. I loved how all the main characters you can use, like from the show, have all different cool uses to them. Like Butters can use as a Professor Chaos, Lightning and Thunder. Or you've got Kyle, who's a Jew elf, and he can use like a golf club to like hit people. Or Cartman, who is a Grand Wizard. Or Kenny, who is Princess Kenny. So it's Kenny as a girl, and she's got a bow and arrow, and he takes off his shirt to make all the guys look at his boobs, which I thought was really funny as well, because it's a charm mechanic that you can use in other JRPGs where you charm a person, like charm an enemy. I thought that was really hilarious, and I really like that. And Jimmy as well is a bard. Like, that's so funny as well. Like, he's a bard and he makes characters go to sleep. And I love all these basic mechanics of a JRPG or an RPG put into a South Park coat of paint. And I just love the game. I think it's fantastic. It's definitely one that I'm glad I played again recently, second time on PS4. But it's a great game. I definitely recommend it. Pretty quick video, but that's all I really wanted to say about South Park: The Stick of Truth. Definitely check it out if you're a fan. And that's it for today. Thanks, guys, for watching.